how cold is too cold for 3D printing. In this video, we're going to try printing in the cold, see what happens. If, like me, you have your 3D printer in a workshop, garage or basement, then there may be times when you need to print in the cold. To see what we need to do to be able to run a 3D printer in the cold, I've set my Ender 3 version 2 up outside, where the temperature is currently 6 degrees Celsius or 43 degrees Fahrenheit. It's generally advised to print at an ambient temperature of over 10 degrees C and for good printing results, 15 degrees C. But what I wanted to know is what happens when you try and print at temperatures lower than this. Is it even possible? And if it is, how do the low temperatures affect print quality? If I can get a print started, I'll print a Benchy because I already have a number printed in ideal conditions to compare to. I'll also use the same Iono Silk PLA that I used in my wet filament test. Again, this will give me a good comparison. The first problem you may have when trying to print in the cold is that your printer may not want to heat. Some firmware will actually prevent the hot end or bed from heating up if the temperature of either is below 5 degrees C. My Ender 3 version 2 on completely stock firmware didn't give me any problems when trying to print at 6 degrees C, but my CR10S Pro often refuses to play if it's a little bit cold. The simple solution I find is to gently blow some warm air towards your printer with it switched on. This way, the hot end cooling fan is tricked into being a hot end warming fan until the display temperature is high enough for the heating to start. I use a heat gun, but a hairdryer will do the same job. Once your printer is happy to start warming up on its own, the cold ambient temperatures may mean that it takes longer than usual to reach your printing temperatures. If there's not enough power to get either the hot end or the heat bed up to the temperature you're requesting, then your printer may throw a thermal runaway error. Unfortunately, there's not really any safe, simple way to get around this other than warming the air up around your printer and trying again. If, like my Ender 3, everything comes up to temperature okay, then it's time to start a print. I should say at this point that I'm printing on the plain glass side of my Ender 3's bed because it's a more common printing surface than the carborundum on the other side. I'm starting with standard PLA 200 degree printing temperature and a 60 degree bed temperature. Whilst the purge line seems to go down okay, there's no chance of the skirt adhering, and I cancel the print before too much filament is wasted. Next, I crank the bed temp up to 70 degrees to see if it helps. Unfortunately, there's still no improvement. The additional heat doesn't seem to be helping, so using what I learnt in my bed adhesion video, I turned to an old friend. A little smear of PVA-based glue stick on the bed helped massively in getting the skirt to go down. However, it then became obvious that all was not well. The filament was not extruding cleanly and looked to be on the verge of a clog. To get round this, I decided to increase the printing temperature up to 210 degrees, and things started to look normal again. With the print now reluctantly started, I left it alone to see how it would get on. If you're enjoying this video, then hit like and think about subscribing. I make regular content to help with 3D printing and other projects. So here we are, a Benchy printed at below 10 degrees ambient temperature. So how does it look? Well, actually not that bad. There are a few blobs on the hull, some layer lines are more pronounced, and there's a little more ghosting on the back, but all in all, I was expecting it to be a lot worse. I would say that ideally no, don't print in these temperatures and expect good results. If, however, you don't have any option but to print in the cold for a couple of small prints and you're not too worried about appearance, then increase your temperatures, use glue stick if you need to get the print started, and gently warm your printer up before you start with something like a heat gun or a hairdryer. Please be careful though, heat guns can get up to 600 degrees C, which is plenty hot enough to melt the plastic parts on your 3D printer. If you're going to use one, don't get too close. If you think there are any tips for printing in the cold that I've left out, then drop a comment below so others can see them. Also, let me know if any of the tips in this video have helped you. If you'd like to see more videos relating to the Ender 3 version 2, then check out this playlist. Or click here for another video you might like. Thanks for watching.